Shitting potatoes. I just got my potato order. And now we're gonna check them all out. Shitting basically means encouraging the growth of those little shoots out of the potato eyes. Let me just say that I got a bunch of different varieties because I wanted to try different ones that I usually don't grow. I normally do like Kennebec and Red Pontiac and things like that. And so I ordered a bunch of different varieties to try out for different reasons. But sometimes it's easy to forget that if you order 1 pound of one variety of potato, it's possible you're going to get 2 potatoes. So definitely when they were preparing my order when I was there, the guy was like, I was just like, I know. I wasn't thinking about it when I ordered it, but yeah, just give me those 2 potatoes. So first on my list, we're going to look at Red Norland. Now, I did get this variety because it is fast to harvest. It is 55 to 75 days to harvest, and I have had an issue with voles, so I really wanted to try a couple different varieties that were going to be faster to harvest to see if that would help with my vole issue. The more I can plant and pull quickly, I feel like that might work better. And I've got a cutting board and a knife here in case some of the potatoes are larger. I might be able to cut those in half, and then I've got 2 seed potatoes. So here is 1 pound of the dark red Norland. These guys can have small to large tubers, which you can see. These are not small, so that's great. And they are resistant to diseases like blight, which is important. For me, I've had that issue before. Eat within 2 to 3 months of harvest. So these would not be like storage ones, but they would be in early to harvest and enjoy faster. So this is great because you can see all of the eyes on this potato. When you cut a potato that you want to use as a seed potato, it's good to have 2 to 3 eyes per piece, because each one of those, is going to be one of your shoots to grow potatoes on. So really, you could cut like right here. That gives you eyes on both sides of that. And there's also eyes on the other sides as well as on each end. So if I cut it here, that would give me eyes on every side. So you would basically plant it, cut side down, eyes up. So by chitting, we are encouraging these eyes to sprout, and you want to do that out of direct sunlight, but you want it to be like in a cool, bright area. Potatoes are cool weather crops, so they will like that cool weather. Ahead, made a cut, obviously, as you can see. Now what I would do is I would keep this on the cutting board or on a counter, or you can use like egg cartons, as you've probably seen people use. And you just want to let this scab over. This will dry. It will turn a disgusting color. It'll be like gray, black. It'll look really rough, but you want it to scab over, because when you plant it in the soil, that scab is going to help protect it from picking up disease or just getting too moist and rotting in the soil. So I've got my cut here. I would plant that side down, and then you can see I've got several eyes on this one potato piece, and then picking up this one. This one also has several eyes on it, so there's lots of opportunity for plants to shoot up. So the Red Norland is done, and I got 6 plants out of those 3 potatoes. So this variety is Agata, and this is 1 pound of potatoes. So the 3 versus all of these. But I got it because this is, let's see, versatility in the kitchen and excellent flavor. Expect up to 8 tubers per hill in just 80 days, which is really good. This is another one that will not be a storage variety, but more of a harvest and use within 2 to 3 months variety. These ones are pretty small. Actually, I would not want to cut them. A general kind of rule or a good thing to follow would be if they are, and you might have heard of this before, don't cut them if they're about golf ball size. So these ones are all about that size. But considering the fact that the Red Norland is like 55 to 75 days to harvest and they get that size is like psh to me. But these ones are kind of more of what I was anticipating for that. But these are 75 to 80 days. And they do sprout quickly, so that is a reason why you wouldn't want to use them as a storage one. So all of these I'm just going to keep as is. I'm going to put them on the tray and just let them sprout that way. You wouldn't want to just let them sprout in the bags because, as you can see, you know, it has all these holes, and you wouldn't want it to get snagged on one of your sprouts on one of your eyes. Is Desiree. This is actually a mid-season potato, so it does take a little bit longer to harvest than the early season that we just saw. This is 70 to 90 days, still not a long time. These are prized for their earliness, high yield, versatility in the kitchen, and exceptional flavor. And in the southeast, which is where I am, it's tolerant of heat, and its earliness makes it an asset to any grower. But this variety is similar to French fingerlings, but they will be faster to harvest. Again, given it just started raining, do you hear that on the, we have these windows up here? So you can hear the rain clearly. I do love it, I will say. Because of the size, I am not going to be cutting these. They are pretty small, as you can see. And this is also 1 pound. Cal White is next, and I actually got these. This is 2 pounds. So remember I was saying the 2 pounds for 1 pound for 2 potatoes. So Cal White is actually a substitute for Kennebec, which is what I do normally plant. It is 80 to 90 days to harvest. It sets an excellent yield of medium-sized tubers, which these are a really good size. Faster than Kennebec. It's versatile in the kitchen for baking, boiling, dehydrating, mashing, salads, soups, basically everything. This one here is already sprouting, and that's what you want, is like those short little stubby kind of sprouts just coming out. You really don't want the super long thin ones that are just really weak. The good sprouts are on this side, and then this side is like not much. So what I actually might do, if you see these strong sprouts here, and then there's a couple more on the sides like these, I will cut it this way, lengthwise. That start holding it together. And I will let that scab over, and then both of these now have a lot of good options to sprout. So now I have 8 plants from these 4 potatoes. We are halfway through. Yes, I did order 8 different varieties. Next on the list is Baby Lou. Look at all of these little seed potatoes. They are so small. This is 1 pound, but these were a limited supply, so I definitely wanted a pound just to try it. They got me with the limited supply, but up to 40 per hill. Another variety intended for baby or like roaster mixes, like kind of little potatoes. 90 to 100 days to harvest. Baby Lou excels in the kitchen in soups, stews, crockpot recipes, and more. So this is another variety that I am not going to cut. They are obviously really small, and I wouldn't want to do that. Baby potatoes. Each one of those is going to be a plant that's going to produce like 20 to 40 more. Terra Rosa is next. Here we go. 1 pound of those. So we have anything from really small to actually decent sized potatoes. Terra Rosa will produce a hearty yield of appealing oblong tubers that can reach up to 10 ounces. Smooth skin, shallow eyes, and exceptional eye-catching color make this variety an asset on the market table. Its rich color reflects its high levels of immune system boosting antioxidants and carotenoids. They are like a magenta, and they are 90 to 100 days to harvest. So I'm going to leave the 3 smaller ones whole, and I am going to cut this bigger one in half. It's got some good eyes on this side and a few good eyes on that side. I will probably call about that. That does not look like Terra Rosa. Terra Rosa is a magenta to pink potato, so it's possible these got mixed up with Some other ones, I was kind of skeptical when I first saw the outside of it. I was like, not totally sure about that, but Terra Rosa is like pink, magenta. So I will make a note of that and probably just call them in the morning to be like, is it possible these got mixed up? Butterball, also 1 pound, 100 to 110 days to harvest. Those are pretty big potatoes. I'm just kind of hoping that these potatoes that are longer to harvest is not going to come back to bite me because of the voles. But I'm going to do everything humanly possible to deal with those this year. Can't find a better all-around potato than the German Butterball. Requires a long season to produce a good set of up to 12 tubers per plant, large upright plants, and I will need to just double check if any of these are determinate versus indeterminate, because potatoes are also like tomatoes in that they are determinate or indeterminate. They are both nightshade family. So I think I can get 2 to 3 off of each of these. Okay. Here's how I did it. Each one of these has like 3 eyes on it. So I got 3 seed potatoes from the one potato. I'm going to do the same with this one. I just go ahead and see how many eyes there are. Sometimes I actually put my fingers on them to like keep track on one side of how many there are. I might just get 2 off of this one. But there are 2 right here. There's a bunch right here. So if I cut it here and then cut it here. Let's see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 eyes. Now this one. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Just diagonal. I want to leave as much potato as I can for both sides. So that gave me 6 potato plants from 2 potatoes. But not least is the Burbank russet, and this one I did get 2 pounds of. So you can see it's a decent amount. Let's see, Burbank russet. America's favorite potato, pound for pound, is the russet Burbank. This is all from the potato catalog they had, by the way. Grown since the late 1800s, this variety will produce a hardy set of large tubers on large upright plants. Give them at least 16 inches between seed pieces for best performance. Okay, so that's definitely something to make note of when I'm planning out my square foot. How I'm going to do it, this one's already got writing all over it, but requires a long season. Fertilize well and water well, basically. 100 to 110 days. Leaving these 2 whole. You can see they're on the smaller side. This one could take with getting cut in half, but I think I'm just gonna leave it because I think I have enough that if I leave these 2 whole, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 plants. And I think that might give me my best bet for these to do well. These would be my long season, obviously, but also my good storage variety. Russets tend to be really good at storage, and that is what I'm also looking for. I'm not just growing different varieties to see which ones will do well, but I'm also growing them to see which ones are going to store the longest. Like, which ones could we grow and then keep for as long as we needed. Okay, well, I just got 3 out of that 1 potato, so. I just got 3 out of that one too. What is this one? Where did that one just come from? I need to go like try to match this up with something. It's a red potato. for sure. So I just got 16 plants from those Burbank russets. So I'm gonna let these scab over. I'm going to let the eyes start sprouting. And I've already got my bed that they're gonna go in prepped and ready. So these will be going out hopefully in a week, if not sooner. So here's all my potatoes.